with joint practices starting tomorrow, and it's just one joint practice against Carolina. It's 2 against Philly, just 1 against Carolina. Then they're off again Thursday. Then there's the preseason game on Friday, preseason game number 1. G, I want you to start with this. If you were Kevin Stefanski, and now you have 5 quarterbacks under your control, how would you split up the reps in practice, knowing there's also a game to be played? How would you handle the quarterback competition, rep division, however you want to phrase it, in terms of practice and then in the game for these quarterbacks?
So, look, Bull said something, and I agree with him. Like, if they want to – because I had to go back and look at it, and when you said that, it reminded me. If you go back and watch the conversation that Didi had with Joe Flacco, check that out. It's on CBS on YouTube. He said, look, man, I want to play. Listen, I'm not here to hang out, and all that stuff counts, but I want to play. I want to get reps. I want to be out there moving around. That's why I came back. So I came back to the Browns because it gives me a best opportunity to play. So with that being said, I do believe Joe Flacco would want to play. And if Joe Flacco, I would leave it up to him. He's a veteran. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that. I'm going to split these reps up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Shedeur Sanders in practice. Shedeur and Joe Flacco is going to split them reps. I'm going to act like Shedeur Sanders is now in the position of Dillon Gabriel, who was splitting reps with Joe Flacco at the practice. And then I'm going to get Huntley with the 2s and the 3s at practice. Then when the game time comes around, I'm going to say, all right, Joe, what you want to do? You want one series? Here's what we'll do. We'll give you a series. If it's long, we get a couple first downs and it's a longer drive and it's 7, 8, 9, 10 plays, you out of there. But if it's 3 and out, catch drop the ball, I'll give you another bite at the apple. We'll pull you back in, get you a little bit more. From there, that's Shedeur Sanders all the way from that time period until the third quarter. I'm gonna give Tyler Huntley the fourth quarter because I'm not gonna put him out there the whole practice and scrimmage because he already scrimmaged. He got a short shoulder. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that, and I'll play Huntley in the fourth quarter. You might hand the ball off a couple of times, but that's the way I would definitely split it up. And then what we'll do is you reevaluate next week because now you're going into 2 practices with the Eagles. We want to see how well Shedeur does. Second, what is the update on Dillon Gabriel and his hamstring and Kenny Pickett? Earl?
Go ahead, Earl.
I think I'll handle it the exact same way because there's a strong possibility. I don't know how many series that Carolina plans to play their starters, but there's a strong possibility that Shedeur Sanders will get live game reps against Carolina starters. And so for him to be properly ready for that situation, he's going to need to get some first team reps in this joint practice session. And I think that's going to happen. To G's point, you just look at the pecking order. I expect Dillon Gabriel and Kenny Pickett to be very, very limited when they get to Carolina. I think they're going to do some individual work, but anything that's a structured 7-on-7 or 11-on-11 activity, they won't be a part of that. And that's going to be Shedeur Sanders' opportunity to get those reps in with the one so that when he gets his opportunity to enter the game on Friday, he'll be ready to go. But essentially, I would do it the same way. Play Flacco maybe a series or 2. Play Shedeur first, second. Let him get that first experience of, going into halftime, coming out of halftime, still under center. I like that. And seeing what that third quarter looked like, and then bring Tyler Huntley in to finish off the game in the fourth quarter. To me, that makes sense.
Kevin Stefanski already said that, as we showed the quote before, that Gabriel and Pickett are not going to play. So I'm not going to use them.
No. He didn't say that. Mary Kay.
I'm sorry, Mary Kay.
Mary Kay suggested that.
So if that's the case, and Mary Kay, obviously, if she's saying that, she has legitimate information there, then I would not use – I'm with Earl and G. I'm not using either of those guys in 7-on-7, 11-on-11, work on the side, do your thing, whatever.
Just to clarify, you mean in joint practice, right?
In the joint practice,
okay,
yes.
Just want to make sure.
Same thing in the game. I'm playing Joe Flacco for one series in the game, all right? If, as you said, G, if they go 3 and out and he doesn't really get any work, maybe I play him a second series. If it's a good drive, they move the ball down the field, they score, done. Unless Joe Flacco, for me, if I were the coach, Joe Flacco is the starting quarterback week 1, end the conversation. Unless one of the rookies just blew it out of the water, and I'm not seeing enough to know if that's the case, but assuming that wasn't the case, Joe Flacco's the starter. So I'm saying to Joe, one series, if Joe says to me, Coach, I got to get one more series. I need a couple more things, then I'm giving him a second. But if he doesn't say that, I'm one and done unless it's a 3 and out. So 1 or 2 series. And then I'm playing Shedeur Sanders. 1 series, I keep the starters in there. Some of the offensive linemen obviously not going to play. Myles Garrett, whatever. But the starters that are playing, I would keep them in for 1 series with Shedeur. Then I would go to the backups, and I would play Shedeur and the backups till at least the middle of the third quarter. And then when I'm ready to put the 3s on the field, then I put Tyler Huntley.
Yeah.
But because I'm not playing Shedeur with the 3s in a game. I'm not doing that. The backup's fine, not with the 3s. So I would probably play Shedeur roughly middle of the first quarter to middle of the late third quarter, which is essentially a half, give or take, a little bit more. But that's it. And if the only way I would consider changing that is if during this week something happens with Shedeur's shoulder, it gets a little worse, then I wouldn't play him at all.
Right.
As much as that would stink, then I wouldn't play him at all. But if he's fine and the sore shoulder's passed, to me, I want to see him get at least five series. Right, like whatever, 4, 6, depending on how long they go. But
this
roughly,
This is the important part, because this is why this is why I watch football. This is it. This is the part of it. Now, what you're going to see is, now that Kevin Stefanski, because here's the reality: when you got 4 quarterbacks, and this is the way it goes. Like when you're in those meeting rooms, you don't get the level of one-on-one coaching. And you don't get the level of understanding each and every player unless you are in the first 2 units. If you ain't in the first 2, you don't even really see the head coach like that. You you with the position coach. So now Stefanski's going to get an opportunity. He's going to be super hands-on. They're going to have to put the game plan in and what they're going to run. So now he's going to be explaining to him why I'm running this play. Then he's going to get an opportunity to get a look at what they're running, and then come out at halftime and they can go over simulated adjustments. Let's go adjust to what we want to do in the second half. This is usually how I meet with the quarterbacks and what we look at. And this is how we do adjustments at halftime. So he's going to get a simulation with that. So to me, listen, if you are a Shedeur Sanders fan, or if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, and you've been sitting here all this time and you're tired of talking about narratives and why you're getting first team reps and why you ain't doing this, we're going to get an opportunity to leave it right here, because this is the most important week for Shedeur Sanders. It may not be for the starting position, but this can get you to a position where you can win the job that says, I'm the first dude after Flacco.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a more realistic approach.
I look at that as well. I think me and Mike did this, maybe about a month ago. It was like a way too early week 1 quarterback projected depth chart. And I'm like you. Joe Flacco is my opening day starting quarterback. Yeah. I think Shedeur Sanders is my QB2. I would trade Kenny Pickett, and then Dylan Gabriel will be my QB3. I look at Shedeur Sanders, and I'm with G. I think everything aligned for him to be able to showcase his skill set. And you look at his last few practices, he's practiced very, very well. I know he missed practice number 9 with the sore shoulder, but I was out there yesterday, and to me, one of his passes was the absolute best ball of the day. I thought he threw the ball very, very well. I thought he had good command of the huddle. When I listen to the quarterback coach and he talks about the little nuances that he has these rookie quarterbacks working on, like relaying the information inside the huddle, the cadence, breaking the huddle and things like that. I've heard wonderful things about Shedeur Sanders' progression from when he was drafted in April to where he is right now. And so, like I said this on this show before, like repetition is the father of learning. And he has made the most of every single rep that he has given. And now it aligns for you to be able to put that on display on a much larger stage. And I'm excited because, we've wanted to see him get reps with the ones, but you get to do it against another team. And that hit a little different because, it's still practice, but it's like it's almost puts you in that gamer mode, that gamer mentality.
Well, now you can get hit.
Yeah, it's like the lights is on, but the lights ain't on, but they on.
They are.
Yeah, so it's
anytime you could get hit, the lights are on.
Real. So
it may not be obviously the defense is not up to par with what it's going to be in the regular season because you're not maybe scheming the same way or whatever. But at least now when he throws passes, he knows in the back of his head, hey, I could get hit. I could get hurt. That's not going to happen in practice. There's no worry about that at all. So to me, that's a big difference. And I'll tell you this. I'm going to say this right now before anything happens. If Shedeur Sanders plays terribly in this preseason game, I'm not overreacting. If he plays great in this preseason game, I'm not overreacting either. I'm curious to see it. I hope he plays well. I'd rather him play well than not play well. But I know everybody's going to overreact one way or the other. And I am not. I promise you, I'm not. One way or the other. Bad, good, I'm not going crazy about it either way because it's one preseason game. But it is the most significant step that we will get to see from him.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it's gonna be hard for me.
It's gonna be hard, I know.
Because I'm a fan, and it's like I go back to. I always say this. I'm a fan of Shedeur Sanders. I was a fan of his while he was in college, and so early on last season when we were going through this process of the Browns might need a quarterback, him and Quinn Ewers, right or wrong, whatever, they was just my choices.
Yeah,
those were the guys that I had really wanted, and so it's gonna be hard for me. If he goes out there and ball out, not to get on Twitter and tweet out to throw your wrist up.
I hear you.
It's going to be hard not to do that because he's young, he's exciting, and people want to see him, be able to show what he can do in the real game.
We hope he does, but we got to keep in mind that we've seen a lot of guys who can't play.
I'm just saying, as a fan, it's going to be so hard to just temper the reaction of, okay, it's just preseason.
And the same thing's going to happen the opposite way. If he plays like crap in this game, the haters are going to doing victory laps, and I'm not in for that either. To me, I'm not down for either.
It always, right or wrong. I mean, this is if you're a player, that's the way you want it. Everybody has been to a point where you've been in a position where somebody goes down or something happens where you get your opportunity. Yeah. And that happens in real life. Everybody. Sure. I could tell you probably could tell us the first time you had your first big break where it was like, I've been grinding, I've been doing my thing, and then you get an opportunity to do radio in New York. You're like, damn, I've been wanting to do this forever. And it's like when you it's you know it when you get it because it's in your face.
Yeah.
And you're kind of excited, but you're nervous and then the cool thing about it is when you turn the microphone on or when you do what you do in real life, what your God-given ability is, when you turn it on, it's just like you don't realize none of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah.
You don't realize it. So, and then after you're done, it's the biggest rush in the world. You're like, I can't believe I just did that. That's crazy. So this is going to be a great opportunity. And like I always said, man, in sports, you're going to get an opportunity. It's just about what you do when you get it because you just want to be in the mix. You just want to always just be around the football, bull. Good things happen when you're around the football.